We are Team AFOOFA, a first LEGO League robotics team. We are from Jacob Wismer Elementary, Beaverton School District. We are working on a climate-related project called Climate Connections. We chose two places, Oregon and Switzerland. We chose these two because both places are experiencing the same problem. My name is Pratyusha and I am a 4th grader.
And I am Rashmi and I'm a 4th grader too.
I'm Wamsi and I'm a 4th grader as well.
I'm Savani and I'm a 4th grader too.
My name is Devi and I'm only a 3rd grader.
What is the problem?
It's a hot summer day in the midst of August. There's something in the air that creeps up your nose, eyes, throat, and ears. It's so tiny, but it can make your life miserable. It's itchy. It's hard to breathe. It's making your nose run. What is it? It's pollen. It comes every summer, and due to some reason, it comes more and more every year, and also earlier. Where is it coming from? Why is it coming more? How is it coming earlier? Well, it's all about the change in the climate.
What is causing the problem?
The temperature is rising. The number of heat stress days and nights in Oregon are increasing over the past 50 years. In Switzerland, the average temperature is increasing about 2 degrees Celsius since 140 years.
But I wonder why the temperature is rising. I don't know.
Because the CO2 is rising, which is trapping lots of heat. According to the Oregon Strategy of Greenhouse Gas Reduction Report, there was about 18% increase in CO2 levels in Oregon. If we don't do anything, there will be 60% increase of 1990 levels by 2025. And current levels of CO2 in Switzerland are now 35% higher than the pre-industrial era, says the Switzerland Metro Swiss. Do you know that CO2 emissions per capita for Oregon from fossil fuels is 4 times that of the world's? And what more? The U.S. produces nearly 25% of man-made CO2 worldwide. But I don't know the connection between CO2, pollen, and temperature. Does anyone know?
I know. Both CO2 and temperature rise are causing the wheat pollen to grow more and more at faster rates, making our life miserable. Some weeds are very responsive to CO2. Dr. Ziska, a plant physiologist in the U.S. Department of Agriculture, says rise in concentration levels of CO2 significantly boost pollen production by 61% to 90% in some types of ragweed. Spring tree pollen is at peak levels and has been arriving 10 to 15 days earlier over the past 3 decades. This trend is expected to continue in the coming years, according to the IPCC report. Did you know that a single ragweed plant can produce 1 billion pollen grains? Well, they can, and they can travel up to 400 miles. Just 10 grains of ragweed pollen in 1 cubic meter can cause horrible allergies. Ragweed is common and noxious throughout Oregon. It is causing hay fever in many people. It is commonly found along ditches and waste areas. Ragweed is also invading Switzerland. It is currently low, but it can reach peak due to increase in CO2.
But what are the impacts of rising wheat pollen?
There's a big increase in allergies and asthma in the Western countries. Did you know that today about 35 million Americans have seasonal hay fever allergies and 25 million suffer from asthma? Dr. Ziska says that allergies and asthma are closely linked. Asthma prevalence in Oregon continues to rise and is considered higher than the U.S. average. Up to 12% of Switzerland's population is suffering allergies caused by ragweed. Asthma prevalence for kids has doubled worldwide in the last 2 decades. In the U.S., the percentage of children with asthma has jumped to 9% in 2005 from 3.6% in 1980.
So how are we going to address this issue? We cannot solve the entire problem, but we can help reduce the pollen. That will reduce the impact like allergies and asthma. Here is the solution we came up with. It is a solution to our school, but it can be applied to any other regions as well with some changes. So how does it work? With the help of naturalists from Tualatin Hills Park and Recreation Every year at school, around Thanksgiving, each class will plant few native plants in open areas in the school where ragweed or other pollen weeds might grow. The plants must be native to Willamette Valley, Oregon. This will stop the ragweed or other pollen weeds from growing in the following spring and summer. Planting native plants will reduce the number of allergies and asthma. Besides, the native plants are a critical part of the ecosystem. It is a complex problem, but a simple solution. Even us children can do it. The native plants stabilize soil, shade streams, and provide food and shelter for the wildlife. Prevention is better than cure. It costs less than a few pills.
This is our solution. Adios, ragweed.